Hi, my name is Anna. Today I'll be discussing how climate change is impacting our wallets. The financial impacts of climate change. This presentation explores three key items: electricity as a service, houses as a product, and home insurance as a service, focusing on expected cost impacts and their main drivers. I will highlight both national trends and a few examples from my own area, Galveston County, Texas. Electricity, a rising financial burden. The projected cost impacts. Multiple analyses project that climate change will drive significant increases in electricity costs over the coming decade. For example, current estimates suggest the average U.S. household may face a 10 to 20% jump in electricity bills by 2075. These changes are more pronounced in regions like Galveston County, experiencing more frequent and severe heat waves, resulting in higher cooling demand and reduced grid efficiency. To illustrate, my own electricity bill rose by 29% from 2024 to 2025 during the summer months alone, mirroring the statewide trend. What's the driving cost? Higher temperatures driving up cooling needs, which puts a serious load on the grid. That often means utilities have to bring in more expensive and sometimes less efficient power sources to keep up. In addition, companies are investing more in grid upgrades to make things more resilient, and those costs eventually get passed down to customers. Texas stands out as a climate and infrastructure hotspot, and that's especially true in places like my area, coastal Galveston. For example, during February 2021, we had a freeze, a winter storm. Our local grid wasn't prepared for the freeze. The resulting outages didn't just disrupt lives, some customers on variable rate plans suddenly found themselves owing thousands of dollars as statewide average rates also increased. Residential real estate. Houses. What's happening? The broader housing market is feeling the pressure. Analysts expect climate-related risks to reduce the value of U.S. homes by up to $1.5 trillion by 2055. If you're in a high-risk area, think flooding, hurricanes, or wildfires, the impact is even greater. In Galveston, almost every property is at high flood risk over the next 30 years. Homes in these areas are taking longer to sell and fetching lower prices. Homeowners are also experiencing cost pressures beyond market value. Maintenance, repairs, and utilities are all becoming more expensive. For instance, I recently replaced my roof for $14,000, a direct out-of-pocket result of a storm earlier this year that wasn't even a hurricane. What's driving the change? As severe storms, flooding, and sea level rise and intensify, property damage becomes increasingly common, demanding costlier repairs and greater reliance on resilient building materials. People relocating to safer areas raises development costs and stresses local markets too. More stringent building codes and household investments in resilience further escalates ownership costs. This all results in a combination of asset devaluation, higher ownership expenses, and heightened barriers to maintaining or increasing housing wealth in vulnerable regions. Home insurance, escalating premiums and reduced access. Projected cost. Home insurance premiums are rising fast, up to 27 to 40% nationwide in recent years. And forward projection indicates continued rapid increases, particularly in climate-exposed states. Some insurers are even pulling out of risky markets, making coverage tough to get or flat out unaffordable. Drivers of increased costs. Repeated major disasters are driving up claims, which forces insurers to increase premiums and seeking more expensive reinsurance contracts. In markets deemed too risky, they may refuse new policies or limit coverage, forcing homeowners to pay much more for less protection or go uninsured. Here you have a map showing projected change in home insurance premiums from 2025 to 2055. In summary, climate change is driving continual increases in cost related to electricity, housing, and insurance. Utilities are passing on infrastructure and supply disruptions to consumers. Real estate faces asset devaluation and higher repair costs. And the insurance sector is grappling with the growing cost and risk of natural disasters. Everyone's costs are rising as both day-to-day and long-term climate pressures mount. Thank you.